he did a really clever thing here. He's looking for his biological father. He's holding this sign here. It says, "Hi." It says, "Looking for my biological father. My name is Adam, and I was born at Jamaica Hospital in Queens, New York, in April of 1980. My mother's name at the time I was conceived was Rose Marie Maiello. She is from Woodhaven, Jamaica, Queens, New York. But at the time of my birth, she lived in Ozone Park. I have a sister who is 2 years older than me, but has a different father. I am told that he is Italian, and his name is possibly Joe or Frank. This is all I know. Please help me find my biological father." And Adam joins us right now. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very, very good. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. I guess the first question that that we have here is what led you to this point? I mean, was there something specifically that triggered this, or was this like kind of something that you've wanted to do for a long time?
I've always wanted to know who my biological father was. I had a stepfather growing up, and he really didn't amount to much in either my life or my sister Jill's life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've always wanted to know. And, I got kids of my own now. I got 3 daughters. One's 14, one's 8, one's 3. And the 14-year-old's starting to ask questions. The 8-year-old's starting to ask questions. And, so I really don't have the answers. And my mother refuses to give me the answers.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about what we do know to get us started about your biological father, and I'm just going to call him from now on. I'm just going to call him your dad.
Okay.
About your dad here, how old would he be today, approximately?
According to my older sister Jill, who's 2 years older than me, she's seen a picture of him. She's seen a picture of him that my mother had showed her, and that picture. He was holding my sister Jill.
Okay.
And she would estimate that he's probably somewhere between 55 to 60.
Okay. Oh, now that's interesting. Okay, so she actually saw him. Now I don't imagine she saw this picture for such a long time, but does she have a memory of did he have dark hair, light hair? Does she have kind of some memory or description?
I'm sure she did. I didn't get into detail. I know she said she elaborated that he would be 55 to 60 currently.
Okay.
So I don't know. Again, I don't know when that picture was taken and how old he was in that picture.
And now this is your younger sister.
No, my older sister.
Your older sister.
She's 2 years older than me. And
okay.
My biological father was holding her in the picture. My mother told her that that's Adam's father, Jerry. Now this gets interesting because when I was a child and I asked my mother about my biological father, at first she told me his name was Joe. And then years later when I asked again, she said his name was Frank. And I said, well, I want to know more about him. And she said, well, we were to be married, and he had an electrical accident, and I guess there was some trauma there. He said that he went brain dead, and that when he came back, that he said that he couldn't take care of 2 kids, being myself. So that's what my mother's told me. So right there, you have 3 names.
Wow. Okay. Well, how long were they together?
Well, that's a funny question, and I don't know if I can answer that because according to my mother, they were to be wed. According to my Uncle Jimmy and my Aunt Teresa Ligori, they were to be wed. But according to a cousin that recently just came up through this whole Facebook situation, her name's Jamie Maiello, and her father claims that my biological father's name is Frank, and that it wasn't nothing serious. Yeah, so I wish I had more to bring to the table for you guys, but I'm going based off what I got.
No, that's that. Listen, it's good to get that info out there, all the info, because some of it's going to click. So I mean, from what they've told you, did they? Does your father know that he has a son? Does he? Do you know if he's aware of your existence?
At first, I never thought so. My mother told me when I was a child that when I was a child that he had left before I was born, and my Aunt Teresa and Uncle Jimmy Ligori both confirmed that. However, my sister said that my mother told her, this is my older sister Jill, said that my mother told her that I was already born when he left.
Okay.
So, not really much to go on there. I did do a Ancestry.com DNA test, and I have some pretty amazing results from that. Did you want me to share that with the listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Fabulous. So I took a DNA test through Ancestry.com, and a lady named Deb Burrell, Borrell, came up as a first to second cousin. Now, anyone that's ever looked on Facebook or anywhere, there's going to be a lot of Deb Burrells. There also came up an Eden Mary Show. That's a male. That's Marryshow. He's my second to third cousin. Eden is Deborah's nephew, I believe, on the mother's side, on Deborah's mother's side. So what we did was we found Deborah Burrell, and she's actually a real estate agent in the Texas area. She lives in Texas. And we tried contacting her, and it so happens that my wife is also a real estate agent in the Seattle area, where we currently reside. So my wife left a message for her, and then Deborah Burrell contacted my wife back, wanting to know what was the nature of the phone call. And so my wife responded with letting her know that she's doing a genealogy thing of sorts. And maybe she let too much go. Maybe she scared her by giving her a lot of information. I mean, no one likes to be called and told their family history. But the main thing there was that we wanted to know about, I believe, a Louis Piccolo is who we're looking for. Apparently he's dead, but that's who we're looking for. But if he has kids, if he has male kids, if his offspring are of the male gender, then that could change who we think could possibly be my father currently.
And how is that? How does Louis Piccolo fit into this? What would he be? What would he be in relation to you?
My wife's actually the one that did the genealogy thing here, and so she's going to be more experienced with all this. But what I have in front of me is a few notes to go off of from her. And
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay. Apparently, Deb's mother was Eleanor Piccolo Borelli. Eleanor's siblings were Louis Piccolo and Marion Piccolo. Marion married Charles Gackey, and I know nothing about Louis. Like I said, I have very limited notes to go on from what she said. It all adds up. And so we started calling some Piccolos that showed up. We contacted a man named Frank Piccolo. I believe that there was a thing with like three brothers. And we contacted a man named Frank Piccolo, and his wife answered. And then we contacted another man by the same name, but a completely different person, and I guess his wife answered and said, "I'm not going to answer that when we asked about Louis. Don't call here again."
Who? Okay.
Yeah. Deborah Burrell, I know this is jumping all over the place, but Deborah Burrell in Texas made it very clear that she doesn't want us to contact her. She went as far as changing her profile on the DNA Ancestry.com thing. From Deb Burrell to Vinnie Burrell, but she kept it as a woman, and it still showed up as the first and second cousin. So you can kind of figure who that is.
So there are I mean, it's not like you have no leads. You have a lot of leads, but so far none of them really have paid off. But you've hit a couple of intriguing dead ends. When someone tells you don't call here anymore, that kind of makes you want to call, and because now it's an unresolved issue.
Yes and no. You got to figure, being New Yorkers like we all are, we like to keep things on the hush-hush, and we like to keep private, even if there's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Or so if someone starts calling, asking questions about your family, you would expect the same response.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, your first reaction is not to trust somebody calling you out of the blue, someone you don't know asking you personal questions.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. So now you've taken your search to social media, and you've put this photograph out. And what's the reaction been to that so far?
I don't think we've gotten anything from that. The only thing that we've gotten was you, and also got in touch with Jamie Maiello. She contacted us through that.
Mhm. Okay. So now let's go back to your mom here. You said she lived in Woodhaven. Do you know where in Woodhaven she lived?
On 88th Avenue.
Okay.
We also lived, after I was born, my mom lived on 88th Avenue. Wow, since she was 14.
Okay.
So
do you know what school she went to?
My mother?
Yeah.
Good God, I don't. Not off the top of my head.
Because what I'm thinking is, if we have a lot of folks who are on Facebook who grew up in Woodhaven. How old is your mom now? About?
My mom is.
So, you're going to have a lot of folks out there on Facebook who are, contemporaries of your mom, who went to school with your mom, who knew her from Woodhaven and Ozone Park. And
actually
have you met people?
No, I have my wife texting my sister right now, asking her what school to.
Okay, cool.
So we do that very shortly.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of, I think that's one area. Your mom is the kind of the person that has the information here, and I guess if we focus on that, some people out there who would have gone to school with your mom, who knew your mom, who traveled in the same circles, may have known what happened, and are in a situation where they'd be willing to fill in the blanks.
Well, I mean, Marie Maiello is my mother, and both of her parents were deaf. My grandmother's name was Carmela. She also went by Millie Maiello. And my grandfather died in, I think, 85 or so. I was just a little lad. His name was Marco Maiello. And like I said, both of them were deaf, so, it should be able to narrow it down pretty well.
Now, you say you were talking about your wife and your sister. So your family, you've got them involved in the search. How are they feeling about this?
Oh, they're feeling good. They wish more would come of it, as we do live in an electronic era. My sister's done everything she possibly could for me. She's tried getting information out of my mom. She's tried family members. I've tried family members. I've even tried getting it out of my mom, and my mom is willing to give it to me. But my mom has made it very clear through text messages that she'll give it to me under her conditions, and her conditions pretty much state that she doesn't want me to give her information out. She doesn't want me, if she gives me the name, she doesn't want me to ever contact her again. So I don't know what could be so embarrassing there.
Right.
So.
And that's rough. I mean, what's your relationship with your mom like? I mean, is there Is this causing problems between the two of you?
The relationship with my mother, it really isn't a relationship. There never really was one. You know, she was always looking for a father and a husband in me and my sister Jill's younger years, and we always got pushed to the wayside. And when she finally did find a husband, she just kind of went with it and did bare minimum. Needless to say, both me and my sister Jill do not have a strong relationship with my mother.
Sad. That's sad. So let me ask you, long term. You know, let's just say you find your father, and you know, what do you see? I guess what are your hopes to get out of this? Do you hope to have a friendship? Do you hope just to fill in some blanks, or do you actually hope to have a relationship?
Honestly, I'd love to have a relationship with the guy, but I realize I am 35 years old, and there's a possibility either he doesn't know I exist or he does know I exist. Something like this can be damaging to someone's current life. You know, a kid hopping out of the blue. So I'd be happy with a name and a picture. This way I can see what traits I get from him, you know?
Sure.
I mean,
you know, listen, absolutely. I think every one of us can understand that, because you know, you look back and you know, you see your parents, you see who you came from. It gives you that sense of where you belong, and you know, you could see your traits. And listen, it'd be good. I mean, not only the practical things of medical history, but just, you know, emotionally where you came from, how you came to be. What, you know what I mean? And I guess in that respect, if we put this out here on Facebook, and there are people out from that era who's on Facebook, obviously we get a lot of folks that age, especially in the Woodhaven and Ozone Park groups, and if he comes across this interview and he's listening to this, what would you say to him? What would you want him to know about you?
You know, I would like him to know that I'm a self-made man and I'm not looking for any handouts. I feel the need to say that because nowadays a lot of people are looking for the easy way out. A lot of people might feel that there's some hidden agenda. There's nothing like that. You know, I would, like I said, I would just love to see a picture of him at the very least. I am hoping for a relationship with him. But if that doesn't pan out, that's totally understandable, you know.
Well, listen, you know, I have to say, you sound like you really got your head screwed on right, and you know, the way you're going on about this, I think is really good. You know, you're going out there, you're putting everything out there, and you're saying, you know, this is what I know, and you know, I'm hopeful someone out there will be able to add to the information that you have.
As of right now, provided Louis Piccolo did not have any sons, as of right now, the only person that according to DNA and to family trees and everything, that I could see being my father would be a gentleman named Charles Gatke, and he also goes by Jerry. Now, that's kind of amusing because my sister, when she seen that picture, my mother had told her that this was Adam's father, Jerry. So that's a little funny. But I will also tell you that when I got in touch with Marie Maiello from the whole Facebook "Are You My Daddy" thing, she had gotten in touch with us and we spoke with her. She said that her father used to hang out and run around at all the bars with my mom, and that my father's name was Frank. So, don't really know which way to go with this. But I thought I'd throw that out there.
A lot of leads, a lot of loose threads out there, and you know, we got to hope that one of them catches, and we can get some answers. So Adam, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us. We're gonna spread the word, and want you to keep in touch and let us know what you find out.
I will definitely. I appreciate the opportunity to do this.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And that's Adam Maiello. What a what an interesting story. I mean.